Hi, I'm Marianne Elliott. I'm a Tony nominee for Best Director. It was amazing. It was a moment to celebrate, actually, because we were about to open before the pandemic hit, and obviously it was touch and go as to how would we ever come back. And then we did come back, and then Omicron hit, and then we got through that, and then we got the Tony nominations, so it feels like we are out the other side. Oh, COVID, definitely COVID, yes, because obviously it stopped us altogether, but then when we came back, we're still all being tested every day. Everybody has to wear masks backstage. If there was one day when there were 8 understudies on because people were down with COVID, and if there were going to be more, we were waiting. If there's going to be one more, the show was out. So we're constantly dealing with it all the time. But I suppose it's been a bonding thing as well, because we had rehearsed, then we all went into lockdown back in our various houses in our various countries, but we kept in contact, and it meant that we were extremely close. So when we came back, it felt like the relationships were richer. On stage, the characters in the piece, but also backstage, we're extremely, we really are like a family. Gosh, that's a hard one. Well, we had lots of conversations, many conversations on email, on phone, and face to face. So he was party to all of it, really. It felt like he was one of the creative team members. We were always chatting. So I couldn't really say what was the one major thing. I don't really know. I mean, I suppose what he really loved, which will remain with me, was the fact that Amy became Jamie. He really enjoyed that scene. He really enjoyed the comedy of the scene, and he loved the way that the song was delivered by Jamie. So I'll never forget that. And also at the end of the scene, he always cried. Always cried. He found it so moving. So I'm referring to a scene where in the original production it was Amy who was going to get married to Paul, and she has a song which is called Getting Married, but it's basically saying to the congregation that are in her head, she's about to go there, listen guys, I'm not going to get married, I can't go through with this. And she's quite neurotic, and she sings it very fast. And in our production we've turned it into 2 men. So Amy is now Jamie, about to get married to Paul, and Jamie is the one that has the song that says, listen guys, I can't go through with this, I don't want to get married, and then has a scene with Paul and with Bobbie, the main character, talking about, I can't go I just can't go. Oh, it was amazing. He tried to sneak in when everybody was sat down so that he wouldn't make a fuss. But he got spotted, and the whole audience stood up and cheered and clapped him, and that was very moving. And then he sat down and he watched the show, and I was actually upstairs, but so I could see him. I was trying not to look at him because I was trying not to think, I'm trying not to worry about what he was thinking about it, whether he liked it or not. But all I could hear was his laughter. So he laughed louder and longer than anyone else. And I can still hear that laughter. He was so generous and so happy. And then we were drinking into the early hours, all of us, the company and him. This is literally about a week, maybe 10 days before he died. But he was so happy and so jolly, and he was a raconteur, so he would give us all of these stories, and he seemed to be in his element. And I do remember that he said that he wished George Furth had seen it. It seems to be that people are loving being back in a theatre. That's one thing. I think people are hungry for that communal experience and being together again. I think that they love the fact that it's a comedy. They can actually come and laugh, and we need that. But I think there's something in the writing which is really does speak to now, because it's about company. So it's not about isolation, it's not about lockdown, It's about being with friends and being together, and the very first scene is all the friends piling into Bobbie's tiny apartment. So they're all kind of quite crammed together, but having a party. And I think that just feels very, relevant now, doesn't it?